At least 4 victims are dead, and several others have been taken to hospitals after a gunman opened fire at
Another day, another school shooting in the United States. Four people were unalived in this one, two students, two teachers in Appalachia, Georgia. Just happened shortly before I'm recording this. That TikTok went out, I think it was Daily Mail, whatever it's called. And, it's just gotten to the point where it's unbelievable that this can just continue to happen at the rate that it is. By the way, that rate is 300 people, 300 school shootings last year in 2023 in the United States. You know how many there were in all of Europe, every single country in Europe, an entire continent? Less than 10 versus 300 in one country. So, yeah, I mean, and it came to our town. We used to think, well, that's probably never going to happen here in, affluent Northern California. Well, we were wrong. The high school that several of our children went to, there was a knifing incident, and one of the students was unalived, and all the schools went on lockdown in the neighborhood, including the school that our young daughter, who at the time was like 9 or 10, I think, she got locked down at her school because they hadn't caught the kid yet. So they locked down all the schools, and the French teachers in that school were freaking out because they had never experienced anything like that. And they were, I mean, sadly, as Americans, we've become numbed out to this. I'm not saying that, I mean, it's tragic if it occurs to you, but in terms of like getting locked down in a class is not a strange thing for us, which is the worst part of it is that it's become somehow normalized. We've become desensitized to it when it's happening to other people. Nobody can be desensitized to it happening, obviously, to your own, family or friends or whatever. But just in terms of like the thing going on, the outrage just seems to go down over time. I mean, there's outrage, people, and you'll see outrage after this one. There'll be like a big cry, and then it just goes away. Nothing changes. Nothing ever changes because if you want to see everything just stall out or there be a political uproar, try to introduce anything related to gun control in the United States. Like, I'm not trying to get political, but I'm just saying like that's the way it is. I'm just stating facts in the United States that's just not going to happen. And so, or at least at this point. So they won't draw a line between the availability of guns and these incidents of mass shootings and school shootings. And so there is no political will to change anything. Nobody has a solution. So the school shootings continue and kids continue to die. Kids continue to be unalived at school. So yeah, it's terrible. And it's one of the many reasons that we moved to Europe. It's not the main reason, but it certainly is a side. It's an additional benefit that we have from being here that we feel much safer with our kid being in school. I would happily have my kid walk to school here, and we're in a city of 5.5 million people. I'd be willing to have my kid. I wouldn't do that at home, even in Northern California, in wine country. No, would never do that. Wouldn't do it. Wouldn't even think about it. And it's sad. And I'm not hacking on. I'm not trying to pig pile on this or take advantage of tragedy. I'm just saying like this. Just it breaks my heart. Our hearts go out to these people who are still dealing with this, and somebody's got to step up, put their foot down, and stop the insanity. Otherwise, it's just going to keep continuing on.